In the last video, we were looking at Azure Resource Manager logs. So basically, you can associate the log with a subscription, resource group, or resource, and the child resources can inherit logs. So it's basically to prevent deletion, accidental deletion, or modification of resources. So and we are now going to look at how to reorganize Azure resources. Alright, so sometimes okay, let's look at this. So sometimes you may need to move resources to either a new subscription or a new resource group in the same subscription. And in this case, all right, so we have in the screenshot we have resource group 1 and resource group 2 in subscription 1, and then we have resource group, and then we have another resource group in subscription 2, and notice all of them the resources are VMs. So when moving resources, both the source group and the target group are locked during the operation. So let's see what it means. Write and delete operations are blocked on the resource groups until the move completes. And that is obviously really important, because we're moving stuff around. We should and during the process of moving, we shouldn't be writing or deleting stuff from either the source or the destination. So definitely makes sense in that regard. So okay, so this lock means you can't add, update, or delete resources in the resource groups, like what we just discussed. Locks don't mean the resources aren't available. For example, if you move a virtual machine to a new resource group, an application can still access the virtual machine. So what you're talking about is you could still access it, but you can't modify or delete it, right? So that is that. And what are the limitations? Be sure to read move operation support for resources page. This page details what resources can be moved between resource groups, subscriptions, and regions. All right, let's take a quick look at this. Okay, it's 28 minutes long, so don't think you'll be going through all of them. Just skim through it. Alright, so the article lists what Azure resources can, or Azure resource types can be that are supported in terms of moving. So let's look at this. We have add-ons, AD hybrid health service, advice alerts management, AP management, configuration services. Alright, automation, accounts, Azure Stack, billing. Alright, CDN, classic compute, virtual machines. It says yes, yes, and no. So it can't move between regions, but it could move between subscriptions and resource groups. The subscription with an operation or scenario. Alright, let's keep moving. Alright, this is really important, and this is what I think they normally test on, right? So you can move, you may be able to move virtual machine, but You can move a network security group or a firewall, right, between resource groups or subscriptions. You can't um, move reserved IPs or virtual networks for that matter. So this is good to know, right? This is something which is really important. Um, and then you have disks. Disks cannot be moved. Images cannot be moved. So VM images cannot be moved. So yeah. All right. Use Azure Resource Mover to move Azure VMs. All right. Let's keep going. Still halfway through this page. A lot to cover. Backups, DevOps, DevTabs, Event Grid, Event Hub, Falcon, Hybrid, Microsoft Insights, Kubernetes, Logic Machine Learning, Marketplace, Network, Microsoft Portal, Resource, Health, Security, alright, Mesh, SQL. Alright, so, alright, looks like we have got a fair idea of what it is, right? So you can't move what you can move a virtual machine, but you can't move its components. You can't move the network security group or virtual network or reserved IPs. So that is the issue there. So let's go back. I think we were here. All right. So implementation. So to move resources, select the resource group containing those resources and then select the move button. Select select the resources to move and the destination resource group. Note that you need to update the scripts. Need to update to scripts. Just because the service can be moved doesn't mean there aren't restrictions. For example, you can move a virtual machine. You also must move its dependent resources like gateways. So that's what we're just talking about. So if you just move a virtual machine, that doesn't cut it, because you need the virtual networks and the firewalls and all that to properly function, right? So you don't have that. All right, so that's I think that's all there is to about reorganizing Azure resources. That means moving resources from one resource to group to another. So we have a general idea of what can be moved and what can't be moved between subscriptions or regions, and also know the steps on how to move resources between one resource group to another resource group. So in the next video, I'll be looking at how to remove resources and resource groups. So until then, see you next time.